Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Namo Buddhaya, meritorious Dhamma friends. Today we are learning the importance of the Nikini Full Moon Poya Day. The Nikini Full Moon Poya Day is very important for the Buddhist people in all over the world. On the Nikini Full Moon Poya Day, great things happen on the Nikini Full Moon Poya Day. One of the greatest things that happened on the Nikini Full Moon Poya Day was the first, on that day, the first Sangha Council happened in this world after the Buddha's passing away, after the passing away of the Gautama Buddha, after the Mahaparinibbana of the Gautama Buddha. After the Gautama Buddha passed away, dear Dhamma friends, one bhikkhu who was known as Subhadra told a bad thing. He said, now the main leader has passed away. We can live according to the way we want. Now there is no one to lay it down. Now there is no one to introduce precepts. Now there is no one to put rules for us, to set rules for us. Now we can live according to the way we want. So this was an evil monk. Then Ananda Maha Kassapa heard this, and immediately he decided to recollect the Buddha's teachings, to protect the Buddha's teachings for the well-being and for the benefit of the future generation. Dear Dhamma friends, today, if you are listening to this Dhamma sermon, today if you can see monks, if you are hearing the Buddha's teachings, that's because this Dhamma was initially protected by Ananda Maha Kassapa. So first of all, let's pay our homage to our great, most venerable, our great disciple, Ananda Maha Kassapa. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And dear Dhamma friends, in the First Sangha Council, there were 500 bhikkhus assembled for the First Sangha Council. In the First Sangha Council, there were two special monks to recollect, to recall the Buddha's teachings. One monk was Arahanta Ananda. The other monk who recollected the Buddha's code of conduct, the code of conduct of the monks, whatever preached by the Buddha, whatever laid down by the Buddha, the code of conduct laid by the Buddha for the bhikkhus, that was recollected by our most venerable Arahant Upali. So let's pay our homage to most venerable Arahant Ananda and to our most venerable Arahant Upali Mahathera. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today we are learning Dhamma to be thankful to Arahant Maha Kassapa, to Arahant Ananda, and also to Arahant Upali, and also for the monks who lived in the past, and also being thankful to the monks who lived in the past. They protected this Dhamma. And the great lay disciples like Kujjuttara, they also protected this Dhamma. So we are very fortunate to hear this Dhamma even after Buddha has passed away. Even after 2600 years, we are still listening and practicing this Dhamma. Still bhikkhus are there in this world. Still we can see nuns. There are lay disciples. There are female lay disciples. All these things are to be seen as a result of listening and hearing the Dhamma, and as a result of the Dhamma being protected. So when we learn Dhamma today, and each and every day when we listen to Dhamma, first of all we should remember the Buddha, then Arahant Maha Kassapa, then the great monks like Arahant Ananda, Arahant Upali, and also our great monk, the great Arahant who visited Sri Lanka, that is Arahant Mahinda. So on the Nikini Full Moon Poya day, there was another significant thing that happened. On the Nikini Full Moon Poya day, our most venerable Ananda Maha Thera became an Arahant. Only after the Buddha passed away, Venerable Ananda became an Arahant. Venerable Ananda appeared in the Sangha Council from the earth as an Arahant. And then all the other monks, 499 monks, were all Arahants, but it was only Arahant Ananda. It was only Venerable Ananda who should become Arahant to participate in the Sangha Council consisting of 500 monks. So we should be happy that we are so fortunate to hear these things, these wonderful things happen in the Buddha Sasana. Then the second observance of the rains retreat also happens on a Nikini Full Moon Poya day. So, dear Dhamma friends, on the Nikini Full Moon Poya day, we should light a lamp to Arahant Maha Kassapa, to Arahant Ananda, to Arahant Upali, and pay homage to those great Arahants. And also we can think of those 500 bhikkhus who gathered for the First Sangha Council to recollect the Buddha's teachings. And then only the Buddha's teachings were protected eventually. So today we decided to teach you about Arahant Ananda. Because in the Sangha Council, dear Dhamma friends, the main person was Arahant Maha Kassapa. Arahant Maha Kassapa sat and questioned Arahant Ananda like this. For an example, dear Ananda, Brahmajala Sutta was preached. And where was Brahmajala Sutta was preached? To whom Brahmajala Sutta was preached? What was the reason for the Buddha to preach the Brahmajala Sutta? So each and every sutta was inquired, was questioned by Arahant Maha Kassapa from Venerable Ananda. For each and every question that was asked by most Venerable Arahant Maha Kassapa, our Venerable Ananda Maha Thera replied. And he remembered all the incidents and all the Buddha's teachings. And said, on one occasion, when the Blessed One was living in Savatthi, I heard like this. Thus have I heard. Evam me sutang ekang samayam bhagava. So, Venerable Ananda explained the Buddha's teachings, just as Venerable Ananda uttered the Buddha's teachings without missing a single word. So, dear Dhamma friends, today we decided to teach you about Arahant Ananda, Venerable Ananda. You know, Venerable Ananda was the chief attendant of the Buddha. Dear Dhamma friends, the day Buddha gave the responsibility of becoming a chief attendant for the Buddha to Venerable Ananda, Venerable Ananda asked for 8 boons, requested 8 conditions. The day that Buddha said, Dear Ananda, today onwards you will be my chief attendant. On that occasion, Venerable Ananda asked for 8 boons. The 8 boons, dear Dhamma friends, listen to those 8 boons and see how amazing Arahant Ananda was. See, there were 8. 4 of them, Venerable Ananda does not take the gains that Buddha gets. The first one is, if the Blessed One will not give me the robes that Blessed One has received. Now see, the first condition is the robes that Buddha gets. Venerable Ananda is not willing to accept that. Second one, the Blessed One will not give me the food that Blessed One receives. Third one, if the Blessed One will not grant me to dwell in the same fragrant kuti. Now just imagine if you were granted to stay with the Buddha, what would you do? But Arahanta Ananda, even though he was a chief attendant, he never took things for granted. He never misused becoming a chief attendant. See the boons that Venerable Ananda requested. Then the fourth one, if I will not have to go where Blessed One is invited. So if the Blessed One get an invitation, Blessed One should go. I will not go on behalf of the Blessed One. What happens in the ordinary world? If the main person receives an invitation to go somewhere, and if a downline is requested to go, won't he be waiting to go? But Venerable Ananda was not waiting to visit the invitations that Buddha gets. That's how humble our Ananda Swami was. Then, but if the Blessed One will go with me where I am invited. So if Venerable Ananda is invited, the Blessed One should go. That means Venerable Ananda understood, and he remembered that. He was aware that all the benefits Venerable Ananda gets is all because of a Buddha. And sometimes people loved Venerable Ananda because he was the chief attendant of the Buddha. So the first four things, the benefits that Venerable Ananda gets because of the Buddha, he rejected. The food, then the kuti, then the robes and invitations, the benefits that Venerable Ananda could get because of a Buddha, Venerable Ananda rejected them. See how content our Venerable Ananda was? Now listen to the next one. But if the Blessed One will go with me where I am invited. Now if Venerable Ananda is invited, Ananda won't just accept that. He would put the Blessed One in the first place. He would give the priority and the main place for the Blessed One. And then the sixth one, if the Blessed One grant me permission to introduce. If the Blessed One grant me permission to introduce the visitors at the moment of their arrival. So if anyone come to meet the Blessed One should grant permission for Venerable Ananda to take them to the Buddha at their arrival. See the boons, see the conditions that Venerable Ananda is putting. Then, if I shall be granted to approach the Blessed One as soon as doubt shall arise in me. So whenever Venerable Ananda would have a doubt, he need the permission to meet the Blessed One as soon as possible. When the Blessed One preaches Dhamma in my absence, the Blessed One will repeat the discourse to me as soon as I shall return. So if the Buddha preaches Dhamma where Venerable Ananda is not around, or when Venerable Ananda is not with the Buddha, Venerable Ananda requested the Buddha to preach that Dhamma again. See the 8 boons. Dear Dhamma friends, the Buddha accepted these 8 boons, the 8 wishes, the 8 conditions. These 8 conditions were requested wholeheartedly with loving kindness. Dear Dhamma friends, and then Venerable Ananda attended to the Buddha for 25 years with thoughts of loving kindness, with actions of loving kindness, and with words of loving kindness. Never a single thought of anger arose in his mind for 25 years. Even after the Buddha passed away, Venerable Ananda used to go to the Buddha's kuti and offer water and the things that need to brush the teeth early morning, just as thinking the Buddha is still alive. See how grateful, how much gratitude Venerable Ananda had. And then every day, 9 times Venerable Ananda used to go around the Buddha's kuti. Even while the Buddha was alive, Venerable Ananda in the middle of the night, 3 times he used to go 9 rounds. Each time 3 rounds. Even after Buddha passed away, Venerable Ananda did that. Dear Dhamma friends, how fortunate Venerable Ananda was. The most of the time, dear Dhamma friends, if there was a special name, if there was a name said by the Buddha frequently, that was our most Venerable Ananda's name. And if there was a monk who lived with the Buddha for a long time together, it was our Venerable Ananda. So let's pay homage to our Venerable Ananda in this Nikini Full Moon Poya day. Let's light a lamp to our Venerable Ananda in this Nikini Full Moon Poya day and pay homage to our most Venerable Ananda. And think of Arahant Maha Kassapa on this Nikini Full Moon Poya day. Think of Arahant Upali on this Nikini Full Moon Poya day. Dear Dhamma friends, we can do all these things as humans. We have received this rare opportunity. We were born as humans. Now we are born as humans. We are living as humans. Before we die, we should gain the ultimate assurance from the Buddha's teachings. That is to develop a pleasant mind, develop a beautiful mind, develop a pleasant mind towards the Buddha. Then to develop a pleasant mind, or else to place confidence, to believe in the Buddha's teachings, and to have a pleasant mind towards the Sangha. Even though we can't see these Arahants, we should be happy that we are coming from that great lineage. We are hearing this Dhamma from that great lineage of great Arahants. So dear Dhamma friends, in this Nikini Full Moon Poya day, hope you think of Venerable Ananda and observe 8 precepts and have a wonderful Nikini Full Moon Poya day and spend a wonderful Nikini Full Moon Poya day and gain much merits to our lives and observe 8 precepts and learn Dhamma and practice Dhamma and meditate to realize the 4 noble truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.